Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for attending the webinar today. I'll get started in about a minute. Okay, hi, everyone. Thank you so much for coming to our webinar and tuning in from all over the world. We really appreciate you taking the time to meet with us virtually today, and also just want to congratulate you on your admission and go over some of the next steps as you make the decision about whether or not you will come and join us at USC and be a part of the Trojan family. My name is Maria, and I work for the Viterbi Graduate Admissions and Recruitment Team here at the University of Southern California. So possibly you met me at some point, maybe not, but maybe you met some of my colleagues on the road, and or maybe you just conversed with us over email. And we're super excited to hopefully meet you this fall on campus. And so I also wanted to note that am joined here today by Dr. Paul Rani. He's a professor here in Viterbi, and three advisors. We have Zoe, Daisy, and Lauren, and a couple of my colleagues in the graduate recruitment office, as well as a current student and alum who will be here to share their insights with you later on in the panel. So before we get and dig deeper into your department's nitty gritty, I'm going to just go over some basic details about the next steps in your admission and if you decide to commit to USC. So welcome on your virtual trip to Southern California. Perhaps you already are in Southern California, but if not, we do hope to see you here very soon. It's, as you know, and probably one of the reasons why LA is appealing to you is for probably a couple reasons. One, everybody knows that the weather is usually very beautiful here. We have very mild winters. It's one of the sunniest places in the US. And not only is it a beautiful place to be, but in addition to all of the, famous industries that everyone knows about, like Hollywood, we also are a global hub for innovation. And so by you applying, for the engineering programs at USC, you probably also are well aware that this is a real hot spot to be an engineer or an engineering student. So as you can see on here, of course, you all have probably heard of Silicon Valley, which is up by San Francisco in Northern California. Down here in Southern California, we have Silicon Beach. So a lot of those companies that are up in the Bay Area have opened up locations down here because obviously like the weather is really ideal, and working by the beach is very inspiring, so inspiring, in fact, that USC has two research centers that are right by the beach as well. So, yeah, it's a really cool place to study, work, and just build a life for yourself. So, and if you are from here, then you already know all of the advantages, but maybe you've never been. So, we would love to welcome you to Southern California. The campus is located in Los Angeles, and so it's super convenient. You can see here on the screen, it's just a short walk to a lot of really exciting places. We have sports nearby. We have our own sports teams. We also have like professional soccer, basketball, hockey. All of this is super close to campus. And then just a short bus ride or metro ride away, you have access to museums, concerts, a lot of historical sites, and all kinds of fun too, like restaurants and nightlife as well. And then within 15 miles of campus, and you can even take the metro to the Santa Monica Pier, and then nearby there you have Venice Beach. And then everywhere in between the beach and campus, you'll find like the other famous sites like Beverly Hills, Hollywood, and places like that. And so there's so much to explore. I've been living in California. I'm originally from the East Coast, and I've been living in California for over 10 years. And so I really like it here. If you're thinking about making a big move, whether it's from another part of the country or from a different country, I highly recommend it. I will say that you will be welcomed with open arms on our campus as well as in Los Angeles. And so I think you can definitely find your home here and find people that you would enjoy being around as well. So obviously, one of the benefits of studying a graduate program, and specifically, you're probably thinking master's degree, is the career connections that you'll make. And so you'll be happy to know that within USC's Viterbi School of Engineering, we actually have our own career connections office. So the university itself has, um, they have a career center, but then we also have one that's specifically for Viterbi students. So that's for all the engineering and computer science students. And we have so much programming that they put up together just for you. They have huge career fairs, lots of the top employers, like some of the Silicon Valley, Silicon Beach companies, as well as local companies, startups, all kinds of employers come to campus and they want to meet with you. And so it's a super exciting place. They know that the USC programs definitely, help prepare students to get out there into the working world, which our panelists later will be able to share more about their experiences as students. And so, recruiters do definitely want to meet you, and our career connections office will be able to help you prepare for job interviews, resume building, and things like that. And on here, you can just see a quick snapshot of some of the career events that the Career Connections office put together. This was from last academic year, and of course, it's very similar every year. So you can see like there's just so much going on, and we're all here to help you. From the moment you first hear about USC until graduation and beyond. And so we definitely want to help set you up for success, and USC is a great place to do that. If you're interested in some of the career outcomes, you can go to our website, which is uscengineer.com, very easy to remember. It's also at usc.edu, and you can find us on there, and you can go to your specific major on our majors page. And then on the left-hand side column, you'll see you can click on career outcomes, and that will show you just a snapshot of some of the companies where students and alumni have gotten hired for internships and full-time employment, and just in general, like where they ended up, whether they pursued further education or if they're working, which most of them do go on to work. And then another thing that you might find useful when you become a student is we have a mentorship program. So again, like whether you're moving here from another place or even if you are from LA, this is might be a new phase in your life coming to grad school, and we have mentors who are current students, and they are super happy to help guide you through every step of the way. So they're kind of like a built-in friend for you, and you can come to them for advice about like what classes to take, or anything related to your USC experience. And they're typically paired up with you in the same academic department and degree level. So you'll already have something in common with them, but maybe they're like just a year ahead of you in the program. And so they can help, show you the ropes, which is really handy. And then, of course, there's like so many ways to get involved. USC is really just abundant with opportunity. So not just about, coming here, putting your head down, studying and getting a job, which obviously that's what you're here to do, but we want you to have fun while you're here too. And fun fact that you may or may not know, maybe you attended one of these webinars that we had in the fall when you were applying, or maybe you met one of us on the road and you knew this, but USC actually has more grad students than undergrads, and that's actually very unique. If you are at an undergraduate institution right now in the US, it's probably the opposite where you are, unless you're a USC student. Or maybe, there's other exceptions as well, but it's typically that there's more undergrad than grad. And so typically the student services and organizations cater to the biggest population, which is undergrad. But at USC, of course, we have an extremely robust, undergraduate student life. But we also, because we have more grad students than undergrad, we cater to you all as well, very much so. And so there's like, you can get involved with the organizations that are for everyone, or you can even get involved with the organizations that are exclusively for grad students, like our Viterbi Grad Student Association. You could be a Viterbi Graduate Student Ambassador. You could also be involved with all of the engineering professional organizations. There's so many opportunities to get involved here. And then, of course, like, we are part of the Big Ten. We love sports here too. And so if you are into, watching our sports teams, that's a lot of fun, going to basketball and football games. And so there's never a dull moment. Plus, you're in LA. It's the second largest city in the US. And so there's great food and never a dull moment here. And then these are just some of the campus activities. Obviously, this is just only a snapshot of some of the opportunities that we have available. That I already mentioned some of them. We are also very committed to wellness, and so we do have wellness events. We have free yoga. We have an amazing gym, and it's very affordable for students and staff. I think it's actually free for students. And then the hackathons is something that a lot of our students get excited about. Just really cool opportunities, both academic and social. And then, of course, like, safety is of the utmost importance to us here. And so we have our very own campus police, just like most universities in the U.S. And we definitely, take safety seriously. We have a free lift that it runs in the evenings until like very early in the morning. And then we have like a USC patrol zone. So even if you live off campus, but if you live nearby campus, you'll likely live in the USC patrol zone, because that's just where a lot of the students live, where they can walk to campus. And so you have access to the USC campus police 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. And so, and there's also a mobile app that you can use. So in case you ever need, the campus police, they are available. And yeah, and so they definitely, you can feel like you're being cared for here at USC. Most grad students do not live on campus because campus housing is very limited for grad students. And at this point, in your academic career, usually you have probably developed some sense of independence and wanting to live on your own or with friends anyway. And so we definitely have a lot of opportunities nearby. There's a lot of USC affiliated housing as well as the USC owned housing. And then nearby, actually, in the central part of Los Angeles, which USC is a part of, the neighborhoods surrounding LA, or sorry, rather surrounding campus, like University Park, which is where the campus is located, as well as downtown LA, Koreatown, West Adams, and Culver City are some nearby neighborhoods. And they're actually some of the most affordable neighborhoods in central Los Angeles. Obviously, you're probably well aware of the fact that it's not a bargain to live in Los Angeles. It is a high cost of living city. So bear that in mind, of course. But with that said, we are very lucky that a lot of the neighborhoods that are nearby USC, like I said, are more affordable. And they also are pretty spacious, like when it comes to like having roommates and things like that. And so I find that there are a lot of options, and students are generally pretty happy with the options that are nearby to campus in case you decide not to bring a car. And then the sooner you submit your statement of intent, that is when you get to unlock all of the special features of becoming an official student. So when you do that, when you do decide to commit to USC, which we hope you do, you will get to access our pre-orientation resources. You get to join the Viterbi mentorship program, which I mentioned a few slides back. You also get to connect with your department through academic webinars, which lucky you, you're doing that right now, and you didn't even have to commit, but we're super happy that you came today. And then you also can explore the housing options, and it will just get you ready to, if you've already decided that you want to come, then you might as well, go ahead and make the decision, and then you'll already be able to start taking advantage of the student opportunities. And so, if you are admitted for fall 2025, then typically the deadline to commit is April 15th. However, it does vary sometimes. And so you should definitely check your acceptance letter and the USC portal. That's YOUSC. So it's pronounced USC. And that is the portal where you'll also see your deadline to commit. And then that's where you can go ahead and commit when you are ready to. If you are an international student, if you're going to be studying on an F1 visa, or perhaps you already are, then of course you already know the drill. You have some extra steps. And so you'll find those in our Trojan International system. And then you can follow the steps in the Trojan International system to get your I-20, which you'll use to go and get your visa. And some next steps, if you can visit USC, obviously that would be amazing. We would love to roll out the red carpet for you, and we'll show you around campus. We'll connect you with current students, which of course you're meeting on this webinar, but if you wanted to meet anyone in person, we can definitely help connect you with them as well. So if you can come by campus at all before the fall, then definitely get in touch with us. We would love to meet with you. I also will put in a plug. We are visiting several East Coast cities around this month and next month. So between like now and early April, we're going to be all over the East Coast, and also even Toronto, Canada. So feel free to reach out or check our website. We have all of the dates and cities listed there. So even if you can't come to campus, but you happen to live on the East Coast or in Canada and you want to meet with us, then we would love to meet with you while we're on the road and bring the campus to you as well. And so another thing you should probably do, is you can explore the website. You can see what student organizations we have, and then you can learn more about the student safety and wellness resources. And then another thing that you might find super helpful is that we have Viterbi graduate student ambassadors. So these are current grad students within the School of Engineering. And so they're studying the same majors that you're studying, that you will be studying, and you can connect with them. They're all on our website. You'll also meet them if you ever visit campus. And so they're super helpful. They are amazing resources. And I would say that they're also, very authentic people. And so you can also ask them anything and they'll give you honest answers to your questions. You can ask them about like housing nearby. You can ask them about like what classes they recommend, professors that they recommend, and questions like that, and they're super happy to help. And when you go to the website and you see the ambassadors, you can also kind of narrow it down to the type of person you might be looking to chat with. Like maybe you're looking for someone who's also in the AME department, or maybe someone from your hometown, and you can chat with them. So they're super helpful. And then that's pretty much wrapping up my part of the presentation. This is our contact info. Feel free to scan that or reach out to us. I'll put our email address in the chat for Viterbi grad admissions. But you've already been admitted, so you already got through like the main thing that we could help you with, but we're still here for you for any step of the way. But now you're going to be passed on to the next phase of the presentation. So I'm going to hand it over to Dr. Rani, who will tell you more of details about the department itself.
All right, thank you very much. Let me see if I can share my screen here. All right, can you all see that? So now okay, again, congratulations to all of you on your admission. Let me tell you, I'm the chair of the Department of Aerospace and Mechanical Engineering, and so I want to spend the next few minutes telling you a little bit about the department. First, about myself. You can see when my hair was shorter before COVID. I'm a professor and chair of the department. I got my doctorate from MIT in aeronautics and astronautics. My research is in the area of combustion and energy and chemically reacting flows. I had experiments flown on 3 space shuttle missions, and I'm a fellow of a number of professional organizations. For the first two of those space shuttle missions, I was a backup crew member. Let me see if I can pointer options, laser pointer. Okay. For the first two of those missions, I was a backup crew member. I didn't get to fly in space, but I went through all the training, spent a year and a half commuting between Houston and Florida and Huntsville, Alabama, and Cleveland, Ohio, various NASA centers. I like to ride horses, and I like a lot of outdoor sports such as backcountry skiing. That's just a little about myself. Let's talk about the department. We have currently 17 full professors, of which I'm proud to say that 16 are fellows of one of the major professional organizations, AIAA for aerospace engineers, ASME for mechanical engineers, or the American Association for the Advancement of Science, American Physical Society, etc. We have 5 associate professors and 6 tenure-track assistant professors. And I'm also proud to say that more than half of our current faculty have received at least one of the early career awards from the National Science Foundation, Office of Naval Research, and so on. So it's a very distinguished faculty. I'll mention that a little bit more later on. We also have 10 full-time teaching track faculty. 3 are at the full or associate professor of engineering practice level, and the others are lecturers or senior lecturers. And we have a number of part-time lecturers. These are mostly people from the local industry. They teach 1 or maybe 2 classes a year, but they are experts in some particular field. And so they have expertise that none of us full-time faculty have. For example, one is an expert on 3D printing, and so he brings his expertise in that field to us on campus. Um, our undergraduate population is about 550. Masters, like you folks, we hopefully will become about 400, and about 100 PhD students. Where do our graduates go? This is now just for AME. For the master's students, I'll focus on that. Half go to employment. I'm not sure. Oh, I need to fix this because obviously these numbers aren't quite right. They don't add up to 100%. But most either go on, to employment or continue on for a PhD. Uh, a few, not that many, are seeking employment. For the master's students, the top employers, not surprisingly, are the aerospace companies in the era: Boeing, Northrop Grumman Aerospace, also SpaceX as well. And here I checked these numbers. The average starting salaries for our bachelor students, 83,000. Master's students is actually right now higher than the PhD students. And that's just because of a couple of outliers. A couple of master's students I saw had such high starting salaries. I'm thinking, maybe I should put an application there. So this is not normally the case. Normally the starting salaries are higher for PhD students than master's students. This year just happens to be an anomaly because of a couple of very, off-scale high starting salaries for master's students. Mentioned about some of the accomplishments of our faculty, these early career awards I mentioned. Some of our senior faculty have won some very distinguished awards, and it seems like there's another one coming up almost every week. I have to write yet another memo. Oh, geez, so-and-so won yet another award. And you have to write yet another memo about this great award that this faculty member received. And I mentioned even our adjunct faculty, these are the ones who have a full-time job elsewhere, have one, like Vinay Goyal is at the Aerospace Corporation and has received the NASA Exceptional Service Medal and was elected a fellow of the American Institute of Aeronautics and Astronautics. And he teaches courses in aerospace structures. Now, of course, we know, some of us on campus, full-time faculty, know a lot about structures, but not specifically applied to aircraft the way Professor Goyal does. Our um, our strategic directions for research. Many of you will get involved in research: robotics and autonomous systems, energy and sustainability, my area, design and manufacturing, medicine, bioengineering, particularly with an emphasis on, like many departments, artificial intelligence, machine learning, and aerospace systems. We have some outstanding research facilities, excuse me. The Dryden Wind Tunnel is actually one of the four best low turbulence wind tunnels in the world. It's not high speed, but it's an extremely quiet low turbulence wind tunnel. We also have one of the best water channel flow facilities around, as well as our Center for Advanced Manufacturing. They do, like I say, manufacturing and a lot of, manu robotics for manufacturing. Um, we also have, as you see here, and I don't say this lightly, but I say it accurately. We have a dream team, our student affairs staff. Daisy is the director. We also have here Lauren and Zoe with us, and they are just outstanding. As I can talk about this all day, but just talk to the students about how well served they are by our student affairs team. I think it's starting now, correct me if I'm wrong, is that starting this coming year, it'll be 28 units requirement. Is that right? Or is that next year?
It's still 27 for almost
Still,
all of the degrees.
okay, still 27, but it's going to be go. So getting now to only 27, I think next starting in fall 2026, that will increase to 27. But it's very flexible. There's one required applied math class. You have a choice of actually three. You have to take one of them. And then a number of, this is based on the 28 units that I thought we were starting this year, but that's next fall. Uh, then a certain number must be 500 level AME classes. The remaining 12 units from engineering, math, or physics. And you can also take a number of senior level, 400 level classes, but no more than, I believe, 9 units. So just a few suggestions for the master's students. You may want to get involved in research with a faculty member. If you're interested, if you think you might be interested in going for a PhD, our best source of PhD students is actually our master's program. And it works both ways. You can work with a faculty member, and if he or she decides to accept you into his or her group, then you can work with them. You can decide, yes, this is something I want to do, or thanks, but no thanks. Also, the faculty member can decide, yes, I want to work with this student, or thanks, but no thanks. So it gives you an opportunity to learn what PhD level research is like, talk to the faculty members' current research PhD students, and see, is this something you want to do for the next several years or not? Uh, Also, I very highly recommend that you go and talk to faculty members during their office hours, not just, for your own instructors in your own classes, or if you're doing research with your own advisors. Go to any, even not even in the AME, go to any faculty member's office hours and talk about it. If you're interested in some 19th century French author, I'm sure there's an expert in that somewhere on campus, and you'll never have this opportunity again to have so much access to so many experts for free. Well, I shouldn't say free, but at least for no additional charge. So, for example, if you're interested, in Victor Hugo, I'm sure there's an expert on 19th century French literature. Go and find out who that is, and go to his or her office hours and learn all kinds of things about Victor Hugo. So, expanding on that, try everything. This is a university. The root word is universal. And if you don't try it here, when exactly you're just not going to have this opportunity ever again in your life. Try all kinds of things. Um, Also embrace the Southern California environment. I'll talk about that more in a minute. So why USC and why AME? We're what I call a boutique size department. So we have a lot of intense interaction with faculty, as opposed to, let's say, a Georgia Tech or Purdue. I mean, they're great schools, nothing against them. They are fantastic schools, but they're huge. You won't have the same level of one-on-one interaction with faculty that you're likely to get here. You can get involved even as master students in many of our student-led activities. I think pretty much all of them are open to master students. Some are not open to PhD students, but master students, I think all of these are open. Our Formula SA race car team, we have both internal combustion and electric vehicle teams. Our aero design team, where they build every year a radio-controlled aircraft. The rocket laboratories, both the solid and the liquid propulsion labs. So feel free to get involved in those activities. I'd also say it's a very collegial environment for the most part. Notice I put in parentheses mostly, there's always some exceptions, but mostly collegial faculty, staff, and other students. We have the nearby industries that was mentioned earlier, and the secret weapon is the Trojan family. I was a student at 4 different universities and on the faculty at another university before coming here. And of those 5 universities, none of them really had what I call a sense of family or spirit. And so when I came here and people started talking about this Trojan family, Trojan spirit thing, my first reaction was, okay, whatever. But I really found that there was something to that. I really found it really is um, a different environment here, and that's one reason I've stayed here for, oh my goodness, almost 30, going on almost 32 years now. I've had opportunities to go elsewhere, but one of the reasons I stayed was, this family environment. Why Southern California? If you're from the area or have visited a lot, then I don't need to tell you this. But for me, I'm talking about now for me personally. Is it the weather? Yeah, weather's good. Okay, maybe that's it. Is it the culture that was mentioned? Yeah, okay, that's good. Is that it? For me personally, it's the geography. Um, you can go, we have the beaches, the oceans. We have actually a research center on Catalina Island, which at least used to be, I haven't checked lately to see if you can still do this, but it used to be for a very nominal fee. You can go out there, spend the day snorkeling, using the kayaks. And it's a fabulous spot. I've even night snorkeled there, and it's a protected marine reserve, so you can't take fish or lobsters from there. So snorkeling there at night, it's like swimming in the lobster tank at Red Lobster. Every crack in the rock, there's this thing peering out at you. You don't see them much during the day, but at night they come out. We also have, the mountains and the forests. I like to do backcountry skiing. We also have the deserts. This is Death Valley. In a couple of weeks, or about a month, I'm leading a hiking trip to Death Valley to visit some old mines and also to climb the highest peak in the area, Telescope Peak out here. And we also have about a 6-hour drive away is the canyon country of southern Utah and northern Arizona. And I've taken a number of students out there as well. I also added this just the other day. This was the view from my street. These are it was cold, it was snowing. It's going to snow again, I think, tonight. This is Monrovia Peak, elevation about 5,000 feet. But yet, down here, I'm at about 500 feet elevation. I can still grow my mangoes. So in conclusion, good luck. Getting an advanced degree is a big uphill climb, and but we're going to give you what you need to get through that uphill climb. Anybody know where this is? Someone raises their hand. Okay, let's see. Let's see. Is there some way I can find out what your answer is? I saw you raise your hand. Can someone, can some moderator find out if they have the right answer or put it in the chat or something?
Yeah, I believe that's the Half Dome
Yeah,
at
Half Dome, Yosemite.
Yosemite.
Yeah. So you have to do the climb, but we'll provide the cables and the steps for you. Anyway, that's all I have to say, and I look forward to taking your questions.
If anyone has any questions for Dr. Ronnie, please feel free to put them in the Q&A that you can find at the bottom of your screen. You click on the Q&A icon, you can submit questions there. A few minutes for any questions anyone has for Dr. Ronnie.
Okay, so I see a question coming in. Let's see. Could you please provide a detailed comparison between a mechanical engineer and aerospace? Okay. So basically at the graduate level, it's a matter of what you want printed on your diploma. That, correct me if I'm wrong, but there are no differences in the actual requirements for an MSAE or MSME. Now, we do have some individual tracks that require certain specific courses that will lead to an MSAE with this specialty or that specialty, or MSME with a special. But the basic degree that isn't without a track, it's either one. You could take the same set of courses and then decide after the fact whether you want an MSME or MSAE. Now, I will say that in a lot of cases for foreign students, you may want to choose carefully because if you get an AE, if you're looking to go in the aerospace industry, if you're looking to go in the aerospace industry back in your home country, well, that's fine. And then maybe then the MSAE degree would be good for you. But if you're trying to stay in the US, in most cases, you need to be a US citizen for that. So you might want to go, and if you want to stay in the US and get a job in the US, you might want to consider an MSME degree instead. Um, do you need to apply separately? Can ME students also choose the courses in AI? Yeah, and more of our courses do have that. Do you need to apply separately for a PhD? Yes. If you want a PhD, that's a separate application, and that's a much more selective process because we fully fund all of our PhD students for at least 4 years, and in practice, if they need a fifth or sixth year, we still fund them. So because we're providing the funding through a combination of fellowships, research assistantships, and or teaching assistantships, obviously there are fewer positions available, so that's much more competitive. Is
Let's,
it possible
if
to,
if you don't
go
mind,
ahead,
Dr. Ronnie, if we could
please.
skip to this question, which is,
Mhm,
what do you believe is the best path to get involved in
mhm,
research? Do you think it should
sure.
be professors you have courses with? Should you explore personal interests? Do you have any advice for master's
Mhm,
students who are interested in getting involved in research?
sure. The thing I say is do your homework. Go to faculty members' pages, see whose research you're interested in, and then try to go to his or her office hours and see if they have some openings. Also, if you're in somebody's class, then that's actually even the best way. And that's, I think, I've gotten quite a few of my PhD students who are master's students who came in through that route. They were in my class. They said, "Hey, I'm really interested in this subject. Um, could I do some research in your lab?" And if I think it's a good student, I'll say, yeah, okay. And I give them a project. Often what I do is that I pair them up with a PhD student. Because especially now being department chair, I just don't have much time to supervise them individually. So what I will do is that I will pair them up with a PhD student and then but I try to find some subtask for them that they can say, this is my own task. They're not just sort of always an assistant to that PhD student, but they have something that's their own project. And then again, after a semester, a couple of semesters doing that, if there's, I think, a good match between what they're interested in and, my needs for PhD students, then I'll invite them to apply for the PhD program. And, that could be for any of your classes, or it doesn't have to be someone that you're taking a class with. Again, you can just go and talk to them directly. Um, let's see. Which questions would you like for me to answer? Is it possible to participate in research as a distance education student? The answer is yes, it's possible, but in my experience, it just doesn't work out. I've tried a few times and it just doesn't work out. Maybe with other faculty, especially ones that are more, that are very heavily computationally oriented. I'm an experimentalist, and I do some computation, I find that the students that I try to do remotely, you know, just doesn't work out well. But other faculty may have different experiences with that. Can I change my major from aerospace to astronautical engineering post admission? That's a separate department, so I think you would need to then separately apply. Is that how it would work? I'm gonna ask the experts here about that one.
Yes, yes. So astronautical engineering, since it is a different department, there is an internal application process that you would need to pursue after you've completed at least one semester in your current program and earned at least a 3.0 GPA. Then we could connect you with the department advisors in astronautical engineering, and they could work with you through that process. But it's very simple to change your degree program within the AME department, but it can be more complex to change outside of the AME department, but can be possible.
Yeah, okay.
I think we may switch gears here, if you don't mind, Dr. Ronnie. I'd love to move for a few minutes to our student and alum panel that we've got
Sure.
going on here. So for those of you who are joining us today, our guests, please do feel free to continue to post questions in the Q&A box. My colleagues in AME and in graduate admissions will answer questions via text while we're talking, and then we'll also continue to have some questions that we can answer live with our panel and the rest of us here. So yeah, we're going to spend a couple of minutes answering some questions that may be on your mind for current students and recently graduated students as well. So I would love to kind of get our panel started here with having our two panelists, the current student and recent alum. If the two of you could just introduce yourselves, tell us your name, what degree program you are pursuing or recently finished here at USC, your hometown, where you're from, and just give us a little bit of information on why you chose USC. So whoever wants to begin.
Um, I can go first if that's okay. Hi, my name is Sumant. I'm from India, Andhra Pradesh. So I'm one of the recent alums. I graduated in December 2024 from Masters in Aerospace Engineering. And I loved my time at USC, and I feel like doing one more semester, but which is like I almost finished my credits, which is not possible. So yeah, please reach out to me if you have any questions. In the meantime, I'll try to answer your questions through the chat. Thank you.
Hello everyone. Hi, I'm Radha Krishna, and I'm a current graduate student at USC, studying Masters in Mechanical and Aerospace Engineering, with specialization in computational fluid and solid mechanics. And I'm from India, Hyderabad. And the main reason why I choose USC is the curriculum, and also all the extracurricular activities that I can involve in, either in the labs or with the professors, which I'm interested in. Yeah. Meanwhile, if you have any doubts, please ping me. I'll help you with that.
Fantastic. Thank you both. All right, so I'm just going to have a couple questions that I've got that I'd love to hear your answers to. We'll work in some of the applicants' questions as we're going, but I would love to hear from you about a little bit about what your classes at USC were like or are like. How demanding do you feel like the coursework is, and if you've had any classes that have stuck out to you as particular favorites among the classes that you've taken at USC?
Okay, can I go first?
Go for it.
Yeah, okay. As a graduate student, as an international student, you need to register for at least 8 credits in order to maintain your visa status. So I was registered for the AME 511 compressible gas dynamics and also CE 458 from the civil department. So as a graduate student, the course content is huge and you need to manage all of your studies. Yeah, according to me, taking time for about 10 to 15 hours per week for one subject will be helpful for you to get ahead of all the people. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's all from my side.
Adding to that, during my time at USC, had pretty much variation of classes because my program was general aerospace engineering. So I was my personal interest is mostly focused towards design and structures, but I did a few courses of manufacturing. I did a course with material selection. I did a course with structural dynamics. So it's like different composition of courses, and I had fun every semester. It's like I used to choose one difficult course, one challenging course, and one easy course. So I used to puzzle between them. That's pretty. I love the way how I pick the courses. So what I would suggest you guys who are coming to USC is uh, we can find the list of courses in the website. So try to plan beforehand before coming here. So some courses are offered in fall, some are offered in spring, and some are like only offered in alternate fall or alternate spring. So if you know what you want and Exactly. Then you can like frame your course. It's like customization of your degree. I mean, mine isn't like Master of Science in Aerospace Engineering, but I did a course with Material Science, which is in Chemical Engineering department, and a course with Manufacturing, which is in Mechanical Engineering. I mean, it's not like you don't have to, you should not do it, but it's all up to you. It all depends on your interest, where it lies in. That's what I'd say.
Absolutely. Fantastic. All right. So we've heard a little bit about classes, but I'd love to hear about other things that you were or are involved in outside of classes at USC, and kind of how have you balanced or managed your time between your academics and other things that you've been involved in?
Okay, apart from academics, I was involved in Aero Design Team, which is a registered student organization within the AME department. So coming to how I manage my things, like I plan everything ahead of the day regarding which work I'm going to do. So that is how I plan my week and I plan my days. So yeah, having a structured timetable is actually helpful for you uh, to be ahead of everyone. Yeah.
Yeah, as a friend mentioned that you need, as I've already previously mentioned by myself as well, you need to know what courses you're taking so that you know how much time will be remaining for you in that semester. So depending on that, in my first semester I worked for materials lab for 3 to 4 months under Bojin's supervision. So I learned a lot in that, and after uh, I got an on campus, so it became difficult for me to manage between these things. So I just dropped, and I finally went again in my final semester, continued that research. I mean, it's a different project, but yeah, that's how you plan things. For you have to know what courses you're taking and how much time does it require for that coursework.
Absolutely. Fantastic. So yeah, it's making sure that you're planning ahead. And I think that's a great point, because you tend to spend less time actually in classes compared to undergrad as a master's student, but there's a lot of work required outside of classes. So you need to make sure that you're keeping on top of that and scheduling that out, even when it's not quite as much inherent structure as you might be used to from undergrad.
Yes, definitely. Compared to the undergrad classes, will be very less time in the masters. Hardly, it's like 3 to 4 weeks a class. Lecture hours will be like that. So it's like pretty, most of the work, professor gives you like the outline, and he'll help you with your doubts and where you're struggling and where you need to find yourself to make yourself strong. That's where the professor definitely will help you, and you have to be like do the rest of the work by yourself. And the courses are planned in a very structured way that I have to appreciate. I don't know who's planning the courses, but I really appreciate that. I personally felt that was one of the good things after me coming to USC.
That's great to hear. Yeah. All right. So I would love to hear from you both about what are your goals for career or for after USC, and how do you feel like your experience or your at USC or your master's degree is helping you to achieve those goals?
Okay. Like after my master's, I am planning to be in the industry, especially in the computational fluids and also in the design field. So my degree is helping a lot by upskilling myself. Like there are few courses which are actually structured for these specializations. So in that way, I'm planning and I'm happy with the courses as well.
Yeah, right now, I mean, the courses that I've taken, most of the courses had projects in it, so which really helped me put a hands-on experience of what I'm learning in the class theoretically to apply it to a project, or where I can experience what I'm really learning in real world. So that's where it really helped me. And right now, I'm interviewing with a few companies, so which might turn out to be well soon. So let's see. Yeah, I mean, everything is good as of until now. So far, so good.
Fantastic. Good luck with that, the job search process. It's
Thank you.
definitely an exciting time.
Yes, yes.
All right. I would love to hear a little bit about your thoughts on housing and living around campus. How did you find housing and roommates, if you had roommates, and any tips that you might be able to offer to students who are looking to move to LA?
Yeah, I came in spring 2023, which is in January. In the beginning, I felt a bit worried that I may not find the housing for me. So then I immediately registered on the on campus housing thing, where the seats are a bit limited compared to off campus housing. And most of you might have a question that is the off campus housing far, or is it too difficult to find? Definitely not. On campus and off campus housing, they're literally to each other. So in case if you prefer to be staying on campus, that is up to you, and off campus also it's totally up to your choice. I personally stayed my first semester in on campus, which I had a very good time having a lot of friends, and after that I made good number of other friends as well, where I came out and we used to stay together until I graduated. Yeah, there are a lot of options where you can. Uh, I I mean, you can explore depending on the budget, or do you want a shared or a private room, depending on the utilities that they're providing. So that if time permits, I can send you the links for this housing thing.
Coming to my case, I joined USC in fall 2024. So I reached out to seniors and also Sumant as well. So asking about the on-campus housing and also about the off-campus housing. And I got to know about the off-campus housing, which is very far near to the USC campus. So this is how I got the information about that. And I also researched about that on internet regarding the off-campus, the list of on off-campus housings. So where I found out one beautiful place where I can stay along with my friends. Yeah, reached out to your seniors and they will help you for sure. And even I can help you as well.
Fantastic. Yeah, that's wonderful that you reached out to Samantha back when you were a prospective student and getting ready to come to LA. So absolutely, like Maria said, please do feel free to reach out to our current students, and they will be happy to answer those questions for you. All right, so one more question from me to the both of you, which is just what advice would you give to future Viterbi students, students who are just starting out their time at USC? Is there any advice that maybe you wish you had known or that you think is important to know coming into a master's program at USC?
So if you
Yeah.
don't mind, could you please repeat that question again?
Yeah, absolutely. So, what advice do you have for incoming USC students? Anything that you maybe wish that you had known starting out, or that you think it's important to know as you're beginning your master's student beginning their master's degree?
Yeah, my personal suggestion, as I previously mentioned, plan the classes accordingly. I've seen a lot of other universities, and I've got a few admits as well. But the reason why I chose USC, previously Zoe asked, and I forgot to answer that. I'm sorry, Zoe. Uh, the reason is you can customize your own degree. You can do whatever courses you need. I mean, people, I'm a very enthusiastic student. Say the same with you. I hope the same goes with you guys. So you'll be having a set of courses. Okay, I want to do this particular course. So just list out all of them and see. USC is offering a vast number of courses. So list out them and see in which fall or spring is it offered. So just plan your 4 semesters, or the number of required credits that are needed. So according to that, you plan your 1, 2, 3, and 4 semesters, and it will be like a piece of cake. You wouldn't even struggle. Uh, I've seen few of my friends who struggle, who did not plan beforehand, saying, at the last moment they will be like, "What courses should I take this semester?" And they're a bit. They keep asking the same question again and again. So you know what you need in your curriculum. So then you're pretty clear that what you're doing in your master's. According to that, you can find the professors, the research labs, or whatever research work you want to do. So simultaneously, everything falls in the line. That's the only suggestion I have for you guys. Rest everything you can sort it out. Until and unless you're not smart, you won't be selected for USC. That I know.
Yeah, okay. One suggestion I would like to give is like right from the first semester, try to pick up the subjects which are industry oriented, because most of the subjects are industry oriented here, and try to pick the subjects which have projects. Like this is my personal suggestion to you people, because selecting a subject which has a projects will be very helpful for you when you go for an interview. And also try to get in touch with the professors regarding your research work which you have interested and you want to continue here. And yeah, that's all from my side.
Fantastic. Thank you so much. So we are coming to the end of our time here. So I just kind of want to give one more opportunity for our prospective students who are joining us today to let us know what questions you have, either for our student and alum panelists, for Dr. Ronnie, or for us as any of the advisors here, or from the Viterbi graduate admissions folks. Please let us know what questions you have by putting those questions in the chat. I'll read some of those out loud and direct them to the appropriate folks. So I see a good question that came in. What is the typical class size of a course? So about how many students have been in class with you? Have they been really big classes, small classes? What do you guys think?
It completely depends on the course. For say, there is a mandatory course for AME, AME 5, AME, sorry, forgot the course number, which is the math course that you have to take. AME 525, yes.
525.
Yep.
Sorry, professor. That course, I think during my time at USC, that's the maximum number of students I've seen in a class, around 35 to 40 people. And apart from that, uh, I've taken aircraft structural analysis. I've taken structural dynamics. So it completely depends on number of students that might take. Hardly it varies from 10 people to 30 people. So it depends on the choice of courses in but that particular semester. Students might prefer that subject or not. So there are a few professors who offer the same courses. So it completely depends on the student. So which course to pick. Uh, yeah, I mean, you don't even need to worry. Most of the time, it's not like for other departments like CS, they have trouble registering for the courses. For us, it's hardly like you just need to know what course you want to enroll in. That's the only trouble that you have.
Great. Fantastic. Yeah, definitely. We'll kind of second that. Other than a couple of courses like the required math courses that might be a little on the bigger side, most of the time you'll see quite small class sizes, as small as 10 to 12, and maybe 30, maybe 40 on the bigger side. So definitely, like Dr. Ronnie mentioned, a much smaller and kind of more personalized experience than you might see elsewhere.
So
In
students always talk about, oh, they want small class sizes, but then why don't they come to class?
So you heard it here first, folks. Come to class. Your professors know they are looking out for you.
Look, I tell the students, look, if you take your tuition, divide by the number of lectures, the cost per lecture, for that much, you could get tickets to see Taylor Swift or something. Now, I'm flattered that I'm as popular to you as Taylor Swift, but if you had tickets to Taylor Swift, I'm sure you would go, right? So how come you're not coming to see me perform?
I just wanted to add that every professor remembers your face in the class. Just imagine having 10 students in the class, you can't
Yeah.
escape. And they literally remember each doubt or where you're lacking at, and they'll try to make sure that you're strengthened in that particular concept. So don't try to skip the classes. That's what I would personally say.
Great. All right, so I see a couple of last questions coming in about opportunities to help finance your degree, and I'll say a couple things, and then I think I'll turn it over to back to Maria to answer that anything additional on the admission side, and then probably to wrap us up here. But there are a number of scholarships that are available throughout the admissions process that our students who are admitted are considered for kind of automatically. And then one thing that is a pretty common opportunity for our master's students may be to work in an hourly position, either in a position on campus, across campus, or as we have a number of students who will work as graders for our courses, who will assist faculty with undergraduate or some of our graduate courses as well, with helping to grade papers and assist with student questions and prepare course material. There can also be opportunities for hourly paid research positions in some cases. So there are a number of opportunities in various different contexts to find some of those positions to help with the cost a little bit. And I'll turn it over to Maria if you have anything to add to that one. And then since it is 6 o'clock, to wrap us up.
Yeah, well, thanks. So you actually nailed it. So that pretty much is our answer about scholarships. We also encourage students, to look outside of just, the ones that are available for merit on our website. Definitely take a look at what else is out there in the world. There are actually like a lot of scholarships that exist, in the internet, from various organizations and companies that go unclaimed. So apply for them, look for them, throw your hat in the ring. You never know. If you're an international student, maybe there might be some scholarships available through your country that you could use for your education here. Or even if you're an international student, there are a lot of scholarships available in the US that you could apply for as well. So, and then, yeah, there's also like a lot of, as Zoe mentioned, we have opportunities to work on campus for students. For example, like the two that are here today, both have been Viterbi graduate student ambassadors, which is a paid position on campus, and they get to help out with our events and various other tasks. And then that's just one example. As we were previously talking about, like up students have been graders in classes, and you could even work for like a completely different department, or totally different school within USC. Anything, maybe you just have like an interest that is unrelated to your degree, but you just want to have a side job on campus. So look into that as well. But yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap it up, because it is 6 o'clock here on the West Coast. And then also, let's see, I put the scholarship link in the chat, and there's a couple other links in the chat. And then I see that here's a note from Professor Ronnie that I just copy and pasted so everyone can see it. And then otherwise, I'm going to wrap this up. So thank you so much for tuning in from, wherever you are. And we hope to see you on campus very soon, or possibly on the road if you are on the East Coast or in Toronto. Maybe we'll meet you there. And then, or maybe you'll come to campus for one of our events. So thank you again. Thanks to our panelists. Thanks for everybody who helped out with this webinar. I really appreciate you. Congratulations again to all the attendees on your admission. That was not an easy feat. It is a difficult admission to get. So you worked hard and it paid off, and fight on.